All right.
Great. So can you read that first question again?
Yes, I will. So the first question is, describe your organization's technology, software applications, AI models, algorithms, and hardware, and how it is and can be used to impact conservation positively. What makes your technology innovative or unique?
Right. So what makes it innovative and unique is that the technology itself isn't innovative and unique as a technology, right? We're not using super like machine learning or advanced algorithms. But what we're doing is we're applying general technology to a space that has only had kind of Excel spreadsheets before, right? And rudimentary graphs. So we're increasing the technology use, right? So mapping is one of the technologies that we're using that hasn't been used before in this case, right? We're using mapping to figure out where the problem areas are, and where you can, where we should be monitoring. I was gonna say policing, but monitoring is like, where should we be monitoring? Where are most of the problems? So that you were saying not just to get the right areas, right, but also to save gas, right, to not have fuel go there, to not waste people's time, right? So we're saving resources there. The other thing that we have the capability to do is to go across different organizations, right? So if you're talking about the Galapagos Islands, well, that's Ecuador. But like, what's off the coast of Chile? What's off the coast of Peru, right? The fish don't care about geographic boundaries, but politicians sure do. And I honestly don't know. I'm assuming that Wild Aid has a marine program because the governments need help and whatever to share the data, right? And so while Wild Aid does that in general, the technology makes it easier to do that. And so that might need some polishing from you to like say what it is that you're going to do once you can aggregate that information to know where is the overfishing, for example. That's one random thing I could come up with, right? I'm not in the industry, so like where is the pollution floating to? Maybe it used to float, we'd be able to see things over time. Maybe there's a lot of garbage floating, in one place that is floating to another. Where are all the plastics? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. But the technology it's basic from a technology standpoint, right? We're not using fancy algorithms or whatever. It's a whole lot fancier than the piece of paper and the stacks of data entry that you have to do.
Yeah, and for me, one of the things that seems like a great example is the collaboration between Costa Rica and Ecuador, because the shark swimway is a jurisdiction that's being shared by these two countries, and both of them can be using OFISH to be looking at the same general geographic area that they're wanting to monitor. And then the other thing that I thought would be a good thing to point out OFISH's uniqueness is the fact that it's designed for the people that are on the ground. Like it is a management tool to some extent, but it's really for the officers to be able to see if they are in danger before boarding a boat. If are there any guns on board and stuff like that. So as far as having that safety component, I thought that that's something that is completely unique. And I don't know, I just feel like
there tie that into conservation, right? If people don't feel safe, they're not going to do a patrol.
Yeah.
So you can increase patrolling, you can increase the impact of the patrols by knowing, what's safe. Because if somebody gets shot, first of all, they're not going to be able to patrol. Right. The boat's going to go back right away. And not like if you get shot in the first hour of whatever your shift is, the boat's going back, right? They're not going to be like, well, we got to finish our shift. Sorry, right? They're going to go back.
Right.
And there's probably lots of paperwork and incident reports, right? So I think, it dramatically, exponentially, whatever words you want to use, increases the impact of patrols, because you can know where are the safer areas, right? I'm sure just like there are safer neighborhoods and not safer neighborhoods, there are safer areas of the water and not safer areas, where are the pirates at? But also, when you see a vessel and you're like, it's really dangerous, you're like, maybe that's fine. I saw them doing something illegal, but I'm just going to let them do it and walk away. Right.
Yeah.
And so that increases your ability to continue your patrol, which then, of course, whatever else you are able to patrol increases your impact. And even the visibility of your patrol boat on the water theoretically would stop people from doing that. So
yeah,
that's some wordsmithing to do to make that into, because we don't have real numbers. You can put numbers in there. If you, I don't know if you have incident reports and you can say, hey, if we can stop, I don't know, 50% of the incidents because they know it's safe, then that increases the impact by 200% because, on average, you cut your thing short by 25%, 75%. So now you have 70% more. So that's a 3 times impact or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. You can, if you need those numbers, you make up those numbers. But I think there's definitely value in saying that. I think some guesstimate numbers, I won't say made up numbers, but a reasonable guesstimate, and Bob should be able to help with that, is good, right? It's hard to say what you could have done to not have that incident, right? Or if people aren't afraid because they know they can trust the data, right? Then that's useful. So I think that's how we can talk about how does it help with conservation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really helpful stuff. And I am definitely going to wordsmith that in. And then the other question that was being asked was, how could your organization's technology be scaled and adapted to assist a wide range of conservation efforts? What challenges do you foresee in adoption, and how could they be overcome? I think that, as adoption increases, there might be some things that, we'll need some with different types of phones to make sure that things are continuously being adapted to new phone technology and stuff like that. It seems like we might need some sort of a budget for that. What do you think, Sheeri?
Yeah, I think that would definitely help. If we talk about a wider scale application, didn't we talk about integrating with Earthranger at some point?
Yeah, we did. And that is totally going to be like when Bob's coming back from Palau on the 18th, I think. So after that, we're going to schedule a call with them.
Yeah. Right. Because you can write that, hey, with additional money, we could integrate with Earthranger. We had discussions in 2020 about doing it, but we didn't have the funding. Right. And that might be a little kind of extra push because then it would get more people to use Earthranger. Right. It's their award. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that aspect would help at all.
Yeah, it's $15,000 is the amount for this thing.
That's
so
not going to get us integration with Earthranger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How can it scale to more conservation? Honestly, I think it would be hard to scale it just because, right, a lot of the fields are so specific. But there's no reason it couldn't be, I'm just trying to think of does it, when you talk about a boarding record, could that same kind of idea apply to, let's say you find someone poaching, in the jungle? Now they wouldn't necessarily have a vessel, they wouldn't have whatever, but they'd have a location and they'd have an activity. The activity, right, would be hunting, right, or whatever, and you'd give a station. So with no modification, right, just tell people, hey, ignore the last delivery date, for example, right? That's not a field you have to worry about. You could extend it to that, right? And then the species would be, right, different species as well. So I don't think that that's a problem in that aspect. I think that it could be easily tailored to be used for other conservation efforts. So I think it's really, I don't know if you want to think about what are the other programs WildAid has in general,
Mhm.
right? Like anti-poaching or whatever else is going on. But, I don't think that that is too much of a stretch to say, even though it says O fish, it can be used for other type of things where a citation might be issued. And you'd be able to see like,
Yeah.
what countries have the most citations, or what,
Yeah.
which people and what hunting licenses have, maybe shouldn't be renewed because they're abusing it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like one of the things that we've spoken of in our like team meetings is how can we help the terrestrial wild aid as far as training the people to do enforcement on land. And even if they're looking at in situations where there's like poaching of elephants and stuff like that, they could be using that. But that's what Earthrangers what their app is. It's specifically tailored to be like mapping where the tagged animals are and different things like that. So that's they kind of have that covered, that to some extent. But yes, absolutely. There's from what I remember, there's nothing in Earthranger that allows you to issue a ticket on the spot. So that's the unique thing too.
Yeah, so I would say it's more for the tracking citations part of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's really what our app is based on, is the boarding record itself.
Yeah.
Right. And so you
Yeah.
can talk about tracking game hunted, even if it's legal game hunted. I don't know if there are certain limits, like
Mm-hmm.
if there are rules like, oh, you can take this much, deer meat out of the location, but not anymore. Right. And so that might be to see like, if you have certain amounts of populations that are dwindling and you're like, is this a natural thing, or is there too much hunting going on? Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone who has a license taking one extra carcass that they're not allowed to take
Mhm.
is now, hundreds of people, or,
Yeah. Well, I think that the rangers in the Cocos are a perfect example. They're using O-fish to record bird sightings and stuff like that. Like they're using it more for birds than they are for recording fish.
yeah. So you can even say like it can be used for recording wildlife. And in fact, it already is
Yeah.
being used for other, I don't even know if you want to call it marine life, because it's not even necessarily marine birds.
Right. Right. There were albatrosses on there, but yeah, there were different ones also. Well, that's a good place for me to start. Thank you. I had a feeling that if I told you about those two questions, that you'd have some good suggestions and wording and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I feel like we're not even in the place, like as a society, where it's like, let's use some fancy machine learning algorithms. Like, we're not even there. We're at the like, let's stop using paper,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Phase of it. It's not just wild. It's not like, oh, wild age is backwards and everyone else is up with the times. It's like everybody is in this situation
Yeah.
where we're just getting off paper.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that they phrase a question like that, because like, I don't know anyone who's there yet. Not that I'm in the industry at all, but
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I am going to show you my little video clips. So let's see, which one shall I show you first? Do this one. Do you see a blue screen?
I do see a blue screen and I can see your cursor too.
Okay, good. That looks like Bob.
Oh, I'm still only seeing a blue screen.
Really? Okay.
Really? Oh, wait, but I just saw you moused over something and it was like, there was like a little play.
Huh. Okay. Let's see here. I will play it again. Let's see. What is it? You were sharing your screen, which is QuickTime. I'm going to pause it. Are you seeing the Wild Aid logo? No.
Nope. I'm literally just seeing blue. I'm
Okay.
gonna stop and reshare again.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. Maybe what I need to do is, let's see, share, and then let's try this, share that. Are you seeing a blue screen now?
No, now I'm seeing the Ofish script demo 1
Okay.
window.
Okay, maybe this is going to work. Let's try this. Do you see anything?
Nope. I'm just seeing, I see the whole screen though. So if you move the video onto the screen,
Okay.
then yeah. Oh, yep. You're moving. Okay. Now I see the video there. Perfect.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. So let me move it to the front.
Bob has gray hair though, so I don't think it's him. Glad we're recording this so he can hate me later.
Yeah. Okay. So now can you see the Wild Aid Marine Program? Okay. Here we go.
I'm not hearing any sound.
There is no sound.
Right, writing a ticket, fishery officer. Is this kind of the before because they are writing on paper?
Yeah, that was like trying to set it up for what the problem is, as far as stepping onto boats and, doing stuff where you're working on writing on the paper and then stepping on to boats when, you're issuing tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then let me see, I will find the other one, stop share, and then share this. Let's see, is this the right one?
Those are good images.
They are, but if this is going to be widely shared, then we'll have to definitely, let me make sure this is the right one. Okay, so now I'm going to move this to, so go back to share this screen, share. Are you seeing
Yeah, just
an
also
aquarium?
feel that like if they
Oh, it broke out. Say that again, Sheeri. Okay, pause, record, play. And then I will share screen. Okay.
Ooh, that was so pretty. It looks like a Roku screensaver.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So let's see. I'll show you this demo.
Oh my God, what a terrible hand.
I know. So that's basically as far as I got with that demo, but
right, and you probably spent like 2 weeks doing it.
Oh my God. It's like I can't even tell you how much time that little snippet took. And like the timing's off, and to just try and adjust it is beyond my capacity. So yeah, I just am not going to waste the time and effort to try and figure that out. But the other thing I wanted to play for you is like, this is another issue that I find with, let's see here. Close that. Like for instance, if you are media library, text to speech, I'm just going to give you an example here because it erases, let's see, I'll get some copy that we can use here. Let's see here. Generate.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I would like to tell you about OFish, which is an application designed to help fisheries officers conduct routine vessel boarding at sea. OFish stands for Officer of Fisheries Information Sharing Hub. As some of you may know, writing on paper when you are on a board can be difficult, especially in stormy conditions when the wind is blowing 25 knots, waves are coming over the bow, and the rain is blowing sideways. OFish.
Yeah, it's
Fisheries Information Sharing.
We've started to use some of that for our tutorials, and some of the things that are technical terms like you have over the bow, but it says bow because it doesn't know the difference, right?
Right.
And that might be one of the ways that we've done to mitigate that is we started to put, well, first of all, put commas and things like, you know, when you're writing on paper or whatever, we just start to, it's like you just put in William Shatner commas, like wherever you want it to pause, you put in a comma. And then like, I think you could probably do bow by typing it BOUGH.
Okay.
Like the old spelling of bow. Like, so sometimes you have to get creative with spellings to get the right sounds to come out. You know, like with my company, it's Calibra, but the automated thing says Calibra.
Oh,
so we
yeah.
have to spell it with like 2 E's, that kind of a thing. So it's sometimes it's just a creative spelling, and sometimes it's like a different word, but that's pronounced the right way. And so that can kind of help.
Wow. You know,
that's one of the
things that I tried to do with the well said too, because they have this whole pronunciation thing also. And I respelled fisheries, and records were the other 2 words that they were
records. Yeah.
Let me play you this one sample.
Freeze and Offish. Officer Fish Earry's Information Sharing Hub. Offish is the only app out there designed for fisheries officers working on the water. Easy to use. OFish immediately records your location and time of your boarding.
Crazy. And
yeah. Oh, wow, that's not even, records versus records. Yeah.
I know. And
Information Sharing Hub. OFish is the only app out there designed for fisheries officers working on the water. Easy to use. OFish immediately records your location and time of your boarding.
See, it sounds so bizarre. So I don't know if I should go back to the company and say, can you just fix this for us so that we can actually have something usable? But it's like $99 a month for one of these programs, $79 for the other one. And God knows how long it's going to take to actually have something that is workable. So
honestly, though, if you have a script, you can pay someone $20 an hour to read the script until they get it right, and then just take that audio and put it over the thing. You know,
it is. Yeah, I feel like
so much less.
I think so too. Like, honestly, if we could find somebody or if one of us could read it out and just record that. And I love your idea about just recording the screen.
Yeah, that is what I found when I've had to try to do things and I try to use the technology. Even once you get over the learning curve, it's just like, it's not that it's not as good. I never expected it to be as good, but it's barely usable. Whereas a person doing it is less expensive, takes less time, right? And then you've got the timing. So you know exactly like, okay, they say this and it's 3 seconds and then we want to flip to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that in my friend group on Facebook, I just said, if anybody knows how to do that kind of stuff, to let me know, because it just seems like it would be much more efficient to work with somebody that actually does this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep hounding Victoria and see if she can potentially send me some images of the observers so that we can at least have something like that. And then, yeah, I think
do
that,
find it helps to be specific. Like instead of saying, do you have it? I saw, because you were like, do you have any pictures of that? And that was great. But if you're like, you know what, right here, I want pictures of somebody writing on paper. You know, so you could just be like, a picture of someone who's clearly an official.
Yeah.
Right. In their uniform or whatever, writing on a piece of paper somehow, whether it's a pad, whether it's bent over a desk, doesn't matter. It can be other people in the shop, but at least one person has to be writing. Like, and then you'll get, because, you also don't want to ask for things and be like, oh, that's not quite right. And, the picture doesn't have to be perfect. Just snap it on your cell phone. Right.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a polished video like the one MongoDB did, or, like the O-Fish one that you gave us for for that thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to not be a turnoff.
Right. Exactly.
And this stuff right now is a turnoff. If we get someone's finger, like, recording on, swiping on a phone, you can't see I'm like moving my finger, and it's like, oh, it's kind of like a fat finger and it's not, nice manicured nail. Like that is not our problem at that point.
Right. Exactly. So I do have a little GoPro, so I might just go ahead and record a video sample and then see if we can get some people that are like voiceover experts and give them a script to write, to just read it along with the video and call it good.
Yeah, and when you're doing the video, my recommendation is to do an action and then take your hand away, and then do an action, take your hand away, and hopefully the recording device will be static, so that if somebody takes a little longer, a little shorter, you could just kind of like pause the video there.
Mm-hmm.
And then keep going with the next part. Or you can cut up the video to say, this is where you swiped, this is where you clicked, this is where you typed. And like typing, you can speed up things. So that's what I've usually done in the editor, is like, and you saw that actually in the video that we did 2 years ago. It was kind of like there was typing and it like happened really fast. And what I did was I just like did all the actions they said and then cut apart that video into the sections.
Cool.
Where it would, so, and then like speed up the sections that need to be speeded up, like typing. So that's why you see it. The other trick you can do is to make something look very uniform when it's being typed.
Mm-hmm.
Is you press record and you type it out. And this might not work with your hand in the way it works more with a screenshot of the actual screen. But there may be a way you can kind of, fudge this or something, where you type out the thing, and then what you do at a very like metered pace is you hit the delete button, and then you reverse the video. So if you wanted to type like Sheeri Cabral,
mm-hmm.
you would type the whole thing out, and then you would, delete. So it'd be like delete L, delete A, delete. And then when you speed it up, it's a very uniform, you speed it up and reverse it, it's a very uniform typing in, as opposed to how we all type, which is, you would type S and then H, and the EE would go really fast because they're right next to each other. The R would be really fast, and the I is somewhere else. So that's
a good tip. Okay, great. Yeah, that's like the little tricks of the trade make all the difference. Like just like seeing these painters work, I had no idea that people actually put silicone around the windows. When they're painting, they just scrape the silicone right off the windows. Then you
could be as sloppy as you want, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally.
Because you just take the silicone off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think
because I've done that kind of stuff in like iMovie and QuickTime.
Okay.
Like QuickTime, you can reverse things and speed things up and cut into sections. So yeah, and then iMovie, you can have like a little audio thing, so you can kind of see like you can match up when like the talker pauses, and you're like, oh, that's where I want to switch to the next image or the next video. So you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like that would definitely be the way to go with some video stuff. And yeah, this is just not quite working. So
Yep.
I think
Alrighty.
I'm going to just go ahead and stop the recording because we'll have more updates next week.
Great. Next week or next time or both?
Right. Not next week, but the next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.